Hey everyone, welcome to Worship Artistry. I'm Jason.
And I'm Nick.
Nick, every time I'm standing behind somebody in a coffee shop,
Oh, yeah?
and I'm ready to just order my, 16-ounce drip coffee,
Ooh, okay.
I'm always wondering how the person in front of me found out that they like a tall, non-fat, low foam, 2 shots of vanilla latte with extra 7 shots, whatever they're doing.
That's the equation that's going on.
Yeah, and I hear it, and I'm like, oh, I bet you that's good. But I'm always curious how they found out that they like that.
Yeah, right. That's experimentation has to be, right?
Right, like you're just trying a lot of different stuff.
That's funny.
But there's a story there. We see pedal boards all over the internet. Everybody does we did a pedal board rundown.
Yep.
Everybody talks about their pedal boards. Everybody demos things and says, this is the newest, best thing in the world.
You have to have this.
But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. You and I have some pedals on our board that have been there for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
And I thought it might be kind of interesting to go through, how did we come to these? Like, why is this the order? Why are these pedals the choice?
Yeah.
We've had access to much more.
Exactly.
And so, but rather than just doing everything,
yeah,
because this could be a 10-hour video.
Oh, it could.
But we're going to keep it under 2 hours.
For you.
And we're only going to talk overdrives.
That's right.
Let me ask you, what was your first overdrive pedal?
Goodness sakes. My first overdrive pedal, I think it was a Blues Driver. A buddy let me. Yeah, it's a good one.
The blue one?
Yeah, the blue one had like yellow writing, kind of, or orange or something. Yeah, my buddy let me borrow it, and he's like, dude, this is the best pedal out there. And at the time, I didn't know anything about pedals, and I was playing through a full stack Randall. And so I had a bunch of gain, and then I put gain into the gain, and I was like, well, this sounds terrible. I don't need this. And so I gave up on pedals almost immediately. But I did buy a noise gate because I got the... I can't even get that high.
I do my best right now, but I got nothing.
Kind of noise from the amps. So that's the only pedal I really ever had back then. But yeah, my first one was a Blues Driver. And I don't know if it was good. Couldn't tell you anything about it. But I could tell you now it was good. But I think I hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was... my first pedal was the... I don't know if you say DOD.
Oh,
or
yeah.
DOD.
Or DOD, yeah.
Was a grunge pedal.
Yeah.
It was a grunge. I don't know if it was an overdrive or distortion. I didn't know that much about pedals at the time.
Or fuzz even. Yeah.
I knew that I was playing in a band of a bunch of new players, and then there was one other guitar player who was amazing.
Yeah.
And he had a metal zone. And we all decided that was too much.
That's too much.
Like, well, you've clearly played metal. We're not trying to do metal.
Yeah.
I think we defined ourselves as alternative grunge.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
And so I was just like, well, apparently I need a grunge pedal.
Yeah,
That's what I need.
Like one does.
So I bought that, and it was weird. Like, I didn't sound anything like Pearl Jam.
That was your good. Was that the goal with the pedal?
I was just like, well, this is grunge.
This is Pearl Jam.
It was probably a little more Dakota Motor Company at the time. That was always the like, dude, it's good, like surf rock. Like it's not super hard or anything.
That's amazing.
So that was my first overdrive, and like I said, I don't remember what happened with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think my next one, because for the longest time, I only had delay and drive.
Really?
Like that was it.
That was it.
Yeah, I had a Boss DD3.
Wow, yeah, that's old.
Yeah, it didn't even have tap tempo or anything.
Sakes.
And then I had the yellow Boss overdrive.
The Super Overdrive?
Yes.
Yep. That was a cool one.
Yeah, I mean, it's classic. Like this one right here.
The SD one.
The Aaron is what I call that. I don't know if it's Aaron.
That is the Aaron.
Aaron. I'm saying Aaron.
It's what it says.
But when I talked to
That's the Key and Peele.
When I talked to Aaron, who made it, he told me that, and which knows pedals, I don't think they're around anymore. But he did tell me, he's like, yeah, it's based on the Boss Overdrive.
Oh,
and
cool.
it just kind of has a few more controls and isn't as
that
noisy.
SD one.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
That bright yellow. I mean, it was beat to garbage.
That looks way cooler.
Yeah, I think that's a much cooler pedal for sure.
Yeah. Overdrive is so fun because it shapes your whole sound. I mean, okay, so for instance, like on my board alone, I look at boosts as an overdrive, right? So I have 2 boosts, technically 3 if I wanted with this one. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, technically 5 overdrives on my board here. And a lot of people would look at that and be like, that's way too many. What are you doing with your life? And I'm like, man, these are just my seasonings. These are my spices.
Right.
Like, I don't use those all at once. I don't use them. I mean, maybe if I'm trying to be wacky or something, but like, the point of it is just I like a lot because I like a lot of different spices. I mean, I look at yours and yeah, you have 3.
That's more than I've had.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Because you just added the Uno.
Yep, just added the Uno. And the actual reason why I have this EA89 over here.
Oh, yeah. That's a cool pedal, really.
This Westminster Effects sent me this a while back, and it's an Edwards, and I believe it's a 1689. Listen, if you are really into theology,
go follow them.
Go follow Westminster Effects because all their pedals have some kind of theological joke to them,
right? Yeah,
in some way. You have to be super smart to know what it is.
Yeah,
I don't fully know this. I do remember him saying it's an Edwards and it's a 1689.
Yeah,
the way those two creeds work together, like he was just giving me this whole spiel. So Cody,
I believe you, Cody.
And essentially, what this one is, it's like a blues breaker.
Yeah,
and then it's a tube screamer.
Okay,
and that was really the first time I'd ever even stacked overdrives.
Really,
and I was like, dude, I like this.
You can do that.
You can do some more things, which was not that long ago for me. But here's the thing. Forever. I mean, I feel like maybe I owned a tube screamer at some point just because it felt like you had to.
Everybody has.
You had to have a tube screamer. Yeah. What I found is, even though I had used tube screamers before, and everybody said to use a tube screamer, I didn't really like the sound of the tube screamer that much.
Right.
And then when I tried the blues breaker, I was like, oh,
there it is.
That's more what I'm looking for.
I want that.
What should I add to this?
Right.
To add more. And so this didn't live forever on my board, but it lived a long time, and it was my gateway drug into finding other things.
Into pedal.
Thank you, Cody. Appreciate it.
I'd like to know how you use these, actually,
Sure.
because you have, it looks like to me, the Uno, the Hotcake, and the Timmy in that order.
In that order, yes. Yeah. And it's funny, I got the Hotcake, actually, because what had happened was I was watching the pedal show. That pedal show? Is it the pedal? It's that pedal show.
I think it's that pedal show.
On YouTube. And they were doing a whole thing about drives.
TPS.
And they were talking about how lame it was, or like how AC30s are not great with tube screamers.
Yeah, yeah.
Because here's the thing, is that in the pedal world, I feel like we listen to a lot of what people tell us.
Yes, we do.
And we don't use our ears as much.
Yeah.
I mean, we use our ears, but we're kind of like, it's like, I saw a headline recently that's like, man checks Spotify to make sure he's really enjoying the song he's listening to.
Oh, I think you said it. Yeah.
You know, like it's kind of that like.
What's the title? Do I like
am I
this
allowed to like this band? Am I allowed to like this? And I felt that way with pedals a little bit. It was kind of like,
that's funny.
What am I supposed to get? And I can trust that that's the thing. And so hearing these guys go, actually, Tube Screamer doesn't work very well with a Vox. I was like, I knew it.
I was right.
Right. I was very excited. And they're like, you got to do this Hotcake. Now, here's the thing. That being said, I didn't love it necessarily.
The Hotcake?
Yeah, in the way that I thought I would.
Oh.
And so here's kind of what happened here. So I picked up the Hotcake. You know, I put the E89 down. I got the Hotcake. I did a bunch of research about the Timmy. I think the biggest thing that I like this used to be my drive. I used to just use a boost.
Oh.
And that was it.
Custom audio electronics.
This is a great drive, actually, or a great boost.
Okay.
I like that this one had a blue light.
Ooh,
which
nice.
is cooler.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of blue. You can tell I like blue.
You do like. You do.
But I really liked just the drive of the amp, and so I would always just use that to just drive the preamp, and that's my drive. And I think ultimately, what I really like is I like something that's kind of transparent and that just feels like it's giving me a little more of my amp every time. So what I did was I got this Hotcake and I kind of set it up basically to just boost the amp. So what I'm using right now is I'm using the Quad Cortex and I'm using what capture?
AC30.
AC30 capture. So it should feel right to me. So without any of the pedals on.
With a heavy spring.
Yeah. But yeah, just pretty straightforward. If I really dig in, I still don't really get there very much. It's pretty trebly. So the Hotcake is supposed to be like, it just makes your AC30 more of an AC30.
And that's like the drive side of the...
Right, which it does. Almost like that kind of like top boost kind of a feel to it. What I like about this pedal is I can...
What even pick up? Are you on your middle position?
I'm in my middle position.
Wow.
Which is I don't know. You can almost get like a fuzz out of it if you really.
That's thick.
If you go kind of crazy.
Thick.
You can also get cream if you want. Anyway, but I pretty much just set it like this. But I still find sometimes it feels a little hairy and still a little mid-rangey to me.
Gotcha.
So I got this Santono Uno, which I was very excited to try out. And the thing I love about it is I started changing. You actually got me to do this. I used to drive my preamp channel on my AC30.
Yeah.
And keep my master volume low because it just seemed like that's what you should do.
Yeah.
But you were like, you're doing this backwards.
Usually I'm a bad influence. So
Crank your master volume. And I'm like, I'm never allowed to turn it up. I'm not allowed to turn that up at all. I cranked that master volume and then had the drive low. And then all of a sudden I got this amazing, just like powerful, clean tone.
Very powerful.
But that meant I couldn't just leave it on like edge of breakup. But I really like that clean tone. So this Uno it's called a preamp pedal.
Yeah, just more drive.
Just gives a little extra crunch.
Yeah, that's
But
nice.
it still feels like my guitar. Still feels like it's headroom.
Yeah, it's got good headroom.
Yeah, and you can go, you can do more, but I don't want to do that. So that's that first one in the chain. And I just like that, okay, now I have a fully clean amp.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of drive on the amp.
Yeah.
I have run into the hot cake there, and then I have the Timmy, which is kind of another transparent type of drive. This one's made by MXR, so it's not the like really expensive one you have to wait 5 years for. It's like $120 or something like that.
Yeah. Super reasonable.
Yeah, but this one...
I just noticed the light.
Yep. It's another blue light.
Yeah, that's nice. Is your treble cranked on that?
So no. So it looks like that. The Timmy is unique in that it's actually a cut.
Oh, okay.
So you put everything at whatever time that is, 5 o'clock.
Something. It's
and that's
somewhere.
And that's just normal.
Yeah.
And then you can back it off.
Gotcha.
I'm kind of I think my ears are kind of tuned to more treble though. So if that's annoying, let me know.
No. I just saw it was cranked and I didn't know.
Right. So really all I'm doing is cutting a little bit of bass with it.
Gotcha.
But I like that one. I would use that one for like when I had a clean part and I needed to go into chords that had a little bit extra.
Yeah.
And then I used to put the hotcake after that and kind of be like, oh, that'll be like a boost. It did not sound that great.
Oh, really?
But what I found was if I put the hotcake into the Timmy,
gives you some like push. It gives you more bite almost.
Yeah, it almost saturates it a little bit more, and it kind of helps me like line everything up. So if I want to have all of them on, those are for those big.
Yeah.
If I really want to get wild. And who knows? Maybe this isn't my forever middle drive, but now...
How long have you had it?
I've had the hotcake for a couple years.
Couple years, that's it?
Yeah, I'm a slow changer.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had the E89 for a long time. And then I tend to kind of have this, like, if it works, I can make it work.
Sure.
But I really like this now. And the thing is, like I said, I used to not care for drives. I was like, oh, you just have one drive pedal or a distortion.
Yeah.
But what I found is I'm like, no, this shapes my tone more than any of this other stuff.
Much like the 17 different flavors of latte that the person in front of you gets at the coffee shop.
I'm like, oh, I kind of like all these spices in there. But my pedal board is boring.
No.
You've got like so much going on here.
You got a cool creation logo on it. I mean, yeah, my pedal board is really cool actually. It is and it isn't, right? I want something more, but am I human? Yeah. So I'm happy with this, but I also want something more and whatever. But like, I talk to my friend Charles on Instagram all the time about pedal boards, and he's been redoing his. And I was like, man, let me show you why you don't want a big pedal board. Because I used to have a PT Pros like as big as this table is, and I showed it to him, and I was like, well, actually, there's not that many pedals on there. They're just huge pedals. There's actually only like 13 pedals on there. And like, I think that's how many I have on this small board. And so pedals over time just gotten a little smaller. You get a little bit better at configuring them.
Dude, this Pog used to be the size of like half the board.
Huge. And now you can buy an even smaller one, the size of your Timmy. But anyway, talking about drives, these switch out a lot for me actually. But what has been true over the last year at least, this tilt boost by Revv, the Katana boost by Keeley, and the Opaque drive by Substation Onyx. A friend of mine named Eric, he makes them. That pedal is so good. But then this one is a new addition on my board. It's called the Thrust. It's by Kaisertronics. It's a guy out of the Seattle area. Super cool dude. Met him at a gear swap. And honestly, so this pedal has now become kind of like one of my core sounds. And I shape everything around it. That's how I use my pedals. I have one pedal that I just really love. And for the longest time, it was this pedal. I shaped everything around this pedal. Now I'm using this pedal to shape this pedal a little bit. So this one is fun to me because... much like the E89, has a blues breaker side, and much like your Timmy, right, as Timmy, this, the way he described it to me, is just kind of like a blues breaker and Timmy, and it's awesome. Yeah. Like, it's not the exact same thing. It's just kind of take on stuff.
Slightly different flavor.
Yes, and so it's not going to be that and that together, but it's kind of that idea. And so I really like that sound. And then with the boosts, the idea, especially this one, because it has the tilt EQ here, what that is effectively, you do it this way, there's more bass, less highs. More highs, less bass. So I keep it in the middle, and then per guitar, I just kind of go that way or whichever way. The pickups are darker or brighter, I'll adjust. But it's got the boost side here, and I push the amp just a little bit. So here's my amp sound, the bass sound, right? Yeah, and so I don't like to have a lot of volume with it. But you can kind of hear hopefully that the mids and highs kind of came alive more. Because to me, this is a bit dead. Yeah. There's not much level there, but the highs really come to life. So for me, this thing per guitar is my always on pedal. I just love like
right,
it just doesn't sound as good, and I have a compressor on, but that's so nice. Such a nice, just crispy sound to me, and you can make it even crispier if you'd like, right? It's not a demo, but anyway, that's always on for me. And then let me just go to the Katana here because it's last in my chain. I even have it after my tremolo because you know my little trick with my tremolo.
I do. It's a nice one.
Yeah. You can watch my pedal board video to find that.
It's so good.
But anyway, so here's the Katana. I'll have to adjust the volume. I have no idea what's there.
I didn't even see that little secret knob over there. Well, it blends right in.
What's even cooler is that you got 30 dB boost or something like that if you pull it out.
Nice.
So it just adds a little bit more. Right. I can obviously add a ton more gain to this thing with this. It's just strictly clean boost. And so much like the 17-shot latte or whatever, I figured out that this works really well for how I play because it adds like those lows back in that I need to not sound real shrill.
Right.
Because that was something I learned a long time ago from a sound guy. He just kept cutting me at like 2K or something. And I was like, I like that. Keep it there. Right. I want it there. And he goes, but when you play high, which you do a lot, at the time I really loved, like that note.
You're like up here.
Yeah. And he's like,
It's like you're using the actual pickup as a fret.
Yeah. I was like, get over it to sound. But yeah, he'd cut it, and I didn't like that because it made this down here sound muddy and mushy to me. So I learned that if you're going to play up high, have something to help out, but not something that's going to push it so much that it's just crazy.
So what I hear is I need to find a way to fit this. It's going to just sit over here now?
Yes. Yes.
It's like, oh, no.
Oh, no, I'm not helping you.
I definitely know. Well, it's funny. I pulled this out because I knew we were going to do this video.
Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't used this for a while. And I tried swapping out some pedals to do it, but I didn't add it to the end.
Sure, yeah.
But I definitely was feeling that like, oh, man, I feel like I'm losing some bottom end, especially playing up high. Very similar. Now I'm like, dang it, now I gotta find a place for
gotta try that now.
Do they make pedal board extensions?
Oh, they do, but not for those, I don't think. But yeah, so I have it after my tremolo again because a little trick I do for soloing and just lead work is I keep a harmonic trem on always, which this guy's shifted. But and it's very low. It's hardly on that, but it adds a texture. And that's what I'm always going to have on my sound. Like, there's so many people out there that are like, there's so many synth sounds that you can do, and that's stupid. This is a guitar, make it sound organic and all this stuff. And I'm like, if it works for you, it works for you. If you want a texture on your sound, have a texture on your sound. I don't care. As long as it's not like weirdly distracting to me, we just had a video about that. Everybody can be distracted by that and nobody be distracted by that. But then there's me like, that thing is horrible. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's whatever.
Why do you always have a phaser on?
Yeah, something. But like, if you like a texture, do it. And so I really like that harmonic trim. And then I like to boost it a little bit with this. I have a gain knob on here to boost it. Again, there's just more gain.
Yep.
It just saves your sound, man. But this really pushes it. And the only reason I'm talking about that is because I think it's important to note why I have it after a modulation. Yeah. It's before delay. It's before my modulations in the H90 and before reverb. It's literally just right after the tremolo.
Sure.
I just think that's fun there. And at the end, I have a big tremolo in the cortado. But moving on to the thrust real quick. So that is tilt boost. Let's listen to this just wonderful thing by itself. I think that's a really cool, just a bass sound. Yeah. Because what I hear is, here it's a dead again, and then I make it lively, color it, and then here I'm going to add some more bass.
Right.
Because this has a tremendous treble sweep on it. The guy was telling me, he goes, I may have put the wrong one in there, just let me know, or something like that. And I was like, well, actually, I kind of like it. So this one's nice. Well, anyway, so I've colored it with my boost. Yeah, it's subtle, I think. You can hear the difference, but it's just a really nice sound. And this thing has a lot of gain on tap, actually, and so it's pretty low. But you'll notice that about all mine. Every bit of gain, really, except for this gold boost, or it's not a boost, this gold side of the Opaque drive. The gain is very, very low because I stack things. And if you have too much gain, all you're going to be doing really is adding a lot more compression.
Right.
So I don't need my comp then, but I like my comp always on because it, levels things out a little bit how I have it set. And so I learned that if I want to have all of these flavors, all these spices, whatever you want to call it, I have to have a little gain because volume goes so much further than just a bunch of gain, Right. That's one reason why I love the Lambertones pickups is because I can throw more gain at it, but there's still clarity.
Right.
With any other pickup I've tried, not any other, but a lot of like more popular brands like Seymour Duncan and stuff. I'm not making fun of yours. I
like these.
Good. But it just didn't have that clarity. And so finding the right pickup with your configuration, I think, is the next level, is the next step in your guitar playing. I'm not suggesting that's what you have to do. I'm suggesting that's like the next level once you get your spices. Man, now refine it a little bit more. And so for me, with the thrust, that's basically like my go-to sound for rhythm, right? Like... I think that's just a killer big sound.
Sounds really... Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So were you trying to solve a problem by adding extra drives? Like, were you listening to it going, I'm just losing a little bit of that bass. Is there a way for me to add to the bass? Like, how did you find out that works so well with that?
So for me, it was kind of that, an idea like that. I didn't have access to all these pedals at the time. I had an HD 500. And that's what I suggest anyone does. Just go buy a cheap modeler that sounds good to you within your budget, and then go try things. So what I would do is just put them in order, like in a pedal. Here's a tube screamer. Here's another one. Oh, let's throw a third one on there. So
let's
it happens.
Do 7 metal zones.
Yeah, and I just test things. I just tested a bunch of stuff and found out that this pushes that there, this pushes that there, because initially they all sounded the same to me.
Right.
Like, it's adding dirt, it's adding overdrive, it's adding gain. Cool. This one is just, it blends a little bit, I was like, that's so stupid. Much like I used to not think picks were a thing too.
Right.
But now I've gotten to that level of bougie or good, who knows? But the picks do make a difference to me, much like this. And so once I had access to all of these pedals, I found one that I just like the most. And for me right now, it's the Thrust. Like, I just think that's a killer sound, just rock and roll. It's great for worship, it's great for rock stuff, it's great for everything. So I like this one because I know I can really shift the EQ.
Right.
And so I liked that sound. But I liked that sound better.
Right.
Because it had more clarity to it. So I'm just taking what he did with the Thrust and, in my opinion, making it better. Some people might think it's worse, whatever. So I guess I found a problem, but it also created a problem.
Right.
Because I like pedals. And so...
like, I have created a problem.
Yeah, I've done it myself. But like so the Thrust is so good, much like, you know, you like the Hot Cake.
Right.
As your kind of, I look at that's my middle one. It's like a great rhythm sound.
Right.
And but like you want to shape that thing for certain things.
Right.
And so what I do a lot of is lead guitar. I play a lot of solos and EG1 stuff. I don't really do much rhythm. But man, every once in a while, it's just fun to like turn stuff off and just kind of hang back and play some big old like diamonds or whole notes rather. And then when I need to, just kick that bad dude on, and, you know, and get some neat, interesting sounds out of that. We're using the Stomp for my sound, the HX Stomp. I'm going through the D25 capture, and we're using the Uno. Sorry, you're using the Uno. I'm using the Via.
It's guys at Santono are doing cool stuff.
Yeah, they're doing really cool stuff. It's just a line isolator. It's wonderful, actually. It just helps the signal keep going versus dying into, you know, your quarter outs. You have now XLR outs. Anyway, back to this. With the Opaque drive, I can talk forever about this stuff, by the way, so just go ahead and stop me. But with the Opaque drive, it's got the silver side, and it's got full, classic, and attack. The way I understand this pedal is like he made this because nobody else has done it, supposedly. I don't know much about pedals. I just know I like the sounds. That's it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, right? Yeah. I don't make these things. For me, the way I kind of like to use this pedal here is, again, here's my bass sound, and I'll kick on the silver side. So for me, that overdrive is very transparent.
Yeah. Sounds great.
It's very good. Because it doesn't really, I can add mids on there, but he says when it's level here and the mids are right at noon and stuff, it's going to be like passing through effectively.
Right,
yeah. So I like that because it just adds a little bit more dirt to this, right? Did you? So it's just nice, you know, and it's a little different. So, and they stack well, I think. Like,
I think so. Yeah,
not for chords, but like that's a thick kind of weird sound. But I really like it for like pull my tone back a little bit, and then like. You know, just really fun. It adds a neat texture to it under your fingers. And I love the one comment we just recently got, because I did the major scale on purpose there. But somebody just commented, it looks like two worship guitars. Just learn the major scale. I commented back. That was me. What's the major scale? Asking for a friend. I thought it was funny. I'm waiting on that reply. Anyway, and then the gold side here, how I have it is it's gained up the most because I would use this by itself or with the tilt boost, or, you know, with just one other.
Right.
It's not gonna stack because it's gonna be big. You'll hear. So it's got a lot of low end meat to it. Yeah, and it's not a lot of gain. I can make more with it, but like the frequencies it's pushing, that's what I'm trying to listen to. And so like we'll kick on the tilt with it. This is how I would use it. It just really gives it more clarity.
Yeah.
And like there's certain sonic features to adding those two pedals that aren't there when you add these two pedals.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, man, just really figure out your pedals and have fun with it. Like, this is a YouTube channel. We do like to try things, and we do get sent pedals to demo, to review, to try, and we like them. But here's something. find some pedals that you love.
Yep.
Not like, just absolutely love. And there's an absolute difference because I can pick up any guitar and I can play through any pedal and I can have a blast. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I had the most fun I've ever had. Didn't love it. Don't go for that pedal. Find a pedal that you just absolutely love. Take it off your board and be like, I miss it. I want that. Anyway, so that's how I run my overdrives as of right now, and I don't ever see it changing in the near future. Always having a boost, and probably this boost always first, and always have a boost, probably this one, until I find a different one, which I don't think I will,
So
honestly.
now I just need a big board.
What do you guys like? What kind of overdrives do you guys play? Do you guys like to stack? Do you guys like to only use one and then use your amp sounds as well? Are you very old school? What's going on? Like, I would say you're more old school than I am, but you're not old school.
But I also listen to what you're doing, and I'm like, oh, maybe we should do that.
Right? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Because it really... Okay. I about said there's not a bad sound out there, but there is.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely
absolutely
bad sounds.
But, like, there's not a... Then how do you say there's not a wrong choice? Like,
well, you know, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that you want to use your ears.
yes.
Right? Like, you just really want to trust your ears. And anybody who tells you that this, you know, set this here and do this here, and that's going to be, like, you might run your guitar into your amp with this exact same setup and be like, this sounds terrible.
Yeah.
And so it really is about learning your gear and learning how to make it sound the way you want it to and playing around with different things. We can't tell you what to do.
Right.
And I hope that you don't hear us trying to do that. This is really why we took such a long time just exploring the whys of what we're doing. So you kind of learn, well, maybe I should try some.
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
That seems crazy. Like, I'm sitting here like, that tilt boost is really cool. It made me start playing around with this again.
Right.
You know, like there are other things to be done. But honestly, I can go to church this Sunday right now and play on this, and
Oh, exactly.
it's gonna sound great.
Yeah. The thing
I could leave 2 of these pedals off, and
it'd be just fine.
you know,
Yeah.
make it work.
Yeah, exactly. The thing that I find like a lot of fun about this is, again, there's really not like a wrong answer. You can try a bunch of different things. If you like 3 tube screamers in a row, you like that. That's cool. If it sounds good, it sounds good. That's awesome. But what we're doing, explaining the why versus like showing you a lot of the sounds, that's how I learned a lot, actually, because I actually learned that because I thought I was wrong all the time, because much like you were saying with these, I'm not using these how it should be used. I'm using it how I want to use it. I thought I was wrong for a very long time, and I thought I was weird and dumb. But then I started watching other people and was like, oh, well, I used to do that.
Right.
Gosh dang it. Why did I just follow the flow of people?
Right.
You know, it's like, if you like that sound, do that thing. Use that pedal. Use the flurb if you like that. If it works for you, use the flurb.
Somebody out there is crushing it with the flurb.
Oh, I'm sure it's like
Probably have a whole
electroharmonics.
YouTube channel about it.
It's just CHX.
But
But
I can't live without this.
I can't live
This
without
effect is
that.
unbelievable.
oh, man, they probably have more subscribers than us, which leads me to you should subscribe and you should ring that bell to be notified, because much like most YouTubers, we're going to give you a weird stat here. We only have about 5% of all of you who have notifications on. Yes, we can see all that. We can see if you're a public subscriber as well. So we would love it for you to be notified, because we've been putting out all kinds of content.
Right.
All kinds of really good discussions. Well, some people think it's good. Some people don't. That's great.
No,
That's what we
that's
want.
what a discussion is.
But exactly. That's what we want. We want to have the discussion in the comments. So you absolutely want to be notified for those things. So we will see you in the next one, hopefully, if you get notified.
If you do the thing, do the thing.
Do it. Come on.
Come on, do it.
All right. All right.
Right now.
Okay. All right, bye.